Howdy-o, howdy-o, howdy-o. Good to see you all within my earshots. Shouts that you can hear, shots into your ear. Earshots of wisdom and other auditory things. So, here we are in this, oh my gosh, agonizing times. And, leading to a lot of craziness in us all. Just pray for calm to overcome this beautiful planet that we live on. A collective calm. Stop and reflect and think for a moment. Let peace come into people's hearts, the desire to want to get along with their neighbor. But all of a sudden, just let that fill our hearts, our minds, our souls. And well, that was a good opening. I loved it. I love it. I think about it. Yeah. Let's be committed to a life of eternal peace, loving our neighbors and love each other, one as another. What is, Jesus' famous teachings. Yeah. Ascended Master Jesus, so much wisdom and positive energy is induced into our lives. So, yes, kind of like that. I think this, bastardization of Jesus' intention and goals, and his desire for all of us to acquire from his existence and being here. Being a teacher, a healer, a preacher, he inspired people. So there's a beautiful spiritual energy that inhabited him. It's like it's part of all of us, actually. He just had a connection to it. That's what the whole thing was. So I think he was an ascended master, some sort of I think he was almost like a missionary, in a religious sense, or a administrator of goals and objectives and putting people's lives in order, building a structure in their lives, on their lives, of who they are and what they were. Always incorporated the message of loving your neighbor. It's that simple, you don't have to put anything with it. That's what it is. It became religiousized and ostracized and castrated and all that stuff. So, the inherent messages there in the Bible. I'm not saying that, but it's like so much of it's been by modern religions. So much has been bastardized. Some actually, I think there are a lot of good religious groups that have a more contemporary heart relating to what is society's expectations. As we ascend into a higher level of existence, it's going to require far more modifications of behavioral outcomes, expectations. So it's going to be a very non-violent society. That's the nature of what future survival looks like. It's like it's like you don't need those tensions. I guess there probably was a certain aspect of that inherent in our genetic structure, too. Because actually, at one point, we actually wanted more overactive and aggressive means of moving on, and we were acquiring more relaxed and was like, hey, okay, now those were needed. Now we've grown to this point now. None of that is necessary. We've got to figure it all out. We've got it all figured out, in a practical matter. And even almost to your mental health, they're delving into that stuff, to the nth degree, and, through mind control and who else knows what. There'll be some that'll be good enough to, help, some of the more, bedridden mental or physical mentalities. Help, provide a sense of hope and salvation and a way to go. Well, it's an interesting thing to say. I have no idea why I just said all that. So, this will be my religious presentation. So, what can we say about today's religious landscape? Well, I think they're going to find more and more sublimation into some kind of, like, say, I have belief. I believe there's a God in the universe. And to the extent my knowledge is limited by what I can see. So, I know it's out there. That's why it's happened. Because it's happened for me. And that is the truth. So in so many ways, it's like saying, for me, when I can say American, what do I need to say? I can extol the love and energy from the universe, which I do always anyway. And more from that, the more I can say. The most important thing is who I am and what I say. So, yes, always got to be mindful of those things that, will, convince or sway. And to be pure in intention, like say, what is it we need today? So to us here, okay. All right, well, that does cast a little bit of a different shadow on it. All right, well, what can I say? My wife and I are into the, I hope it's not one of those, like childhood things that come into play. Develop a high amount of energy and impetus for this thing, and you expound on it, and you finally buy into it, and this huge investment is sitting in your yard. That RV thing, van RV. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to figure out how much of this I want to be documenting All right. Well, you'll get a, I might say, a verbal recounting of things and events. Can try to interject some other video of some hands-on stuff. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I'll post them with these. Just keep following these. Because there may not be, any editing, like voiceover stuff like that. I'm just going to probably, whatever it is we have, we're just going to plug in and play. Yeah, what kind of low tech stuff, I don't know. I know some of it's just some of those, getting the right software and the tactical skills on how to use this stuff, and you can create some really beautiful, genius stuff, but I just don't have the mental energy for that kind of interest stuff. So, unless you want to come along and help me or something, right? I always accept, helping hand and stuff. But, don't be shy. Oh, anyway, I'm just going to conclude this particular momentum on this. This is Saturday, isn't it? Yes, it is. August the 8th, 2026. Oh my gosh. Summer's just sliding on by. But we're acting on our dream. Build up this automobile machine or something like that.